Integrity is what God knows about you. You're not getting me. When people talk about popularity, it comes from what people know about you. But when it comes to integrity, it's all about what I know and what God knows. If God knows the intents of my heart, the intentions that I have, why am I doing this? Why do I preach here? When God knows it, you're safe. Now I don't suffer from approval addiction. I don't care what you think. I can speak about politics and don't fear you. I can say anything I like. Yeah. And after I leave, you say, prophet, you said that thing again. Hey, today. Even me, I get shocked when they show me, say, hey, there's something you said here. And they are saying, I say, well, I spoke that. Are you getting this? This is why I love Donald Trump. He will say what he feels right there. Oh, no, he doesn't act like a president. Are you crazy? You want to be lied to? We need to see what these people are thinking. And most of them just go by what their PR say. Their public relations manager says, Mr. President, you should not say this, say this. When you go on the stage, say A, B, C, so that they think this. So, okay. Trump. Whatever comes to his mind, no filter, yes. Whatever comes to his mind, he speaks it. And you can see people melting down in anger. Hey, he has embarrassed America. Embarrassed more than a president who was falling over. Didn't even know where he was. Even the day he introduced Zelensky, you know what he said? He said, a man determined, not word for word, a man determined, interested in the peace. I welcome President Putin, Zelensky. And Zelensky knew this Putin is me. How can it be more embarrassing? You need people that are pure of heart. At least if he's not pure at heart as a Trump, at least I can know what his heart is saying.
Good News World with Uebert Angel, provoking a reaction and always worth hearing.
Big revelations, shocking statements, and a take on world leaders like you've never heard before. Prophet Uebert Angel has just spoken out about Donald Trump, Ukraine's President Zelensky, and Russia's Vladimir Putin. And trust me, you need to hear this. What does he really think about Trump? What did he say about Biden's blunders? And why is Zelensky at the center of it all? Stick around because this will blow your mind. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you love deep, unfiltered insights into world affairs. Now let's get into it. Prophet Uebert Angel started off by talking about integrity. He made it clear that what people think about you doesn't matter. What matters is what God knows about you. He also took a jab at politicians who only say what their PR teams tell them to. And this brings us to the first major point, his admiration for Donald Trump. Unlike other politicians, Trump speaks his mind. No filter. Prophet Angel says this is exactly why people should appreciate him. But here's the question. Do you think Trump's unfiltered speech is a good thing? Or does it cause more harm than good? Drop a comment below and let's discuss. Now this part was wild. Prophet Angel didn't hold back when talking about President Joe Biden's public gaffes. Yikes, can you imagine that? Prophet Angel calls this more embarrassing than anything Trump has ever done. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. And what about Zelensky? According to Prophet Angel, the Ukrainian leader is in a tough spot. But is he really in control, or is he just playing a role in a bigger game? This is where things get really deep. With the ongoing war, political alliances shifting and tensions rising, who's really pulling the strings? Wow. At the end of the day, Prophet Angel's message isn't just about Trump, Biden, or Zelensky. It's about truth, transparency, and leadership. He's saying we need leaders who speak their minds, whether we agree with them or not. So what do you think? Are today's world leaders too scripted? Do you prefer a leader like Trump who speaks his mind? Or do you think diplomacy matters more? This has been an eye-opening discussion, but we're just getting started. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you want to see more deep dives like this, check out these videos right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Quite a leap from grief and trauma to my Todger.
Todger, that's a very gentle word.
Is it gentle?
Todger. Sounds like a nice nickname.
Was that befitting of a member of the royal family? Can anyone seriously take Harry seriously as a counsellor of state, shouldering the burden of 1,000 years of history as Britain's representative across the world? And Harry and Meghan are not exactly turning down the gas on their flamethrowing. Their client journalist and professional lickspittle,
Stop it.
Omid Scobie, published a book in which he accidentally outed the King and Princess Catherine as racists. An implausible, ludicrous claim which unwittingly did more damage to the Sussex racism smear than anything else.
Are you serious?
And they jetted to Jamaica to attend a movie premiere just as King Charles revealed he's been treated in hospital for an enlarged prostate, posing for smiling photographs with the Jamaican Prime Minister who literally wants to abolish the monarchy. For Harry to now claim he's ready and willing to serve his country and his king is frankly an insult. We all know what this is really about. Netflix is reportedly planning to pull the plug on Harry and Meghan's $100 million deal. Their series caused a lot of media outrage, but didn't even crack the top 200 shows on the platform last year. Spotify cancelled Meghan's dreary podcast. Without their royal links, the brutal reality is that Harry and Meghan are of no interest to anybody. And that's why they're rebranding, yet again, to double down on their dubious royal status. Their previous website, Archewell, inspired by their son Archie, now automatically redirects to sussex.com. A glossy picture of the couple dominates the main page, overlaid with a text to the office of Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The website has nothing to do with king and country or the royal family, and Harry and Meghan have no royal duties to speak of. They never put a shift in. They're brazenly exploiting the institution they simultaneously profit from trashing, and we're all being taken for the ride. The late Queen was right. They can't be half in, half out, and they're out. They sold their royal souls for life as reality stars, trading every private cough and splutter for cash. The King should now return the favour and strip them of their tenuous titles and end this Sussex circus for good. Well, to debate all this, this is my royal pack, the uncensored contributor, Paula Rowan Adrian, the royal editor, Sarah Hewson, and from New York, the columnist Maureen Gallagher. Well, welcome to all of you. All right, let me start with you, Sarah, to set the scene here for what's really going on behind the scenes. Lots of messages seemingly being communicated to the media.
Mixed messages, I think.
Very much mixed messages. What do you read into it? What should we read into it?
It's really hard to read between the lines here, but there were reports over the weekend that Prince Harry has made it be known that he would be willing to make a temporary return to the royal fold to try and relieve some of the pressure on the royal family while his father
Do we
and
believe
his sister-in-law
this,
are
first of all?
incapacitated. Look, I mean,
it looked well sourced to me.
Yeah, I think it's probably very likely that he has said at some point, and perhaps in some ways we could say it's laudable. He said, look, if you're really struggling, I can come back. I will do that.
You know what I found?
But it's not going to happen.
You know what I was struggling with, using the word struggling, was his explanation that, you know, these kind of family situations where someone's very sick can bring everyone back together when he, according to the other members of the family, is single-handedly responsible for all the fallout in the first place.
But it seems to me, from his tone and his language, that he is now seeking some kind of rapprochement. It's much more conciliatory language that we're hearing from Harry. No more demands for an apology from the family before any kind of contact.
But from what I've read, and it looked pretty well sourced again, an emphatic no thanks.
Yeah, absolutely no way back.
Particularly from Prince William.
I think that's the biggest mountain that Harry has to climb. It may well be that behind the scenes there are cordial conversations taking place with his father. And that is what he's talking about when he says, you know, this can bring families back together. And so it should. You know, his father has cancer and has always wanted Harry to come back. There's a big difference between family relations and then Harry making an official comeback as a working member of the royal family. The terms of the Sandringham summit were absolutely clear.
All in,
the late Queen
or all
said,
out.
You can't be half in, half out.
Okay.
You're in or out.
Let me bring in Maureen here. I mean, Maureen, I've got to say, whenever we try and find people in America to defend Harry and Meghan, it's almost impossible. Nobody wants to come on and defend them over there. What is the mood?
Very good question.
About them over there?
Well, Piers, this is, again, it seems like we talk about this all the time whenever I'm lucky enough to do your show, the feeling of Americans, and we have absolutely had it.
Are you serious?
And the temerity of Harry to go on an American morning breakfast program, Good Morning America, and use a sort of trumped up event.
That doesn't make sense.
A year out promoting the Invictus Games to happen next year, to soft pedal some sort of possible reconciliation with Prince Charles, and then to later leapfrog off of that with a story placed in the Times of London with this bombshell claim that not only did Harry want to return and was willing to help out, what an offer.
Wait for it.
But that the palace might be open to that as well. It's been really a remarkable 2 weeks in terms of just the timeline of events and the series of humiliations that
What the hell?
Harry and Meghan have suffered, from the breakneck 24-hour trip to London, to the UK to see Charles and to get only 30 minutes, to hear later from Charles's staff that they, quote, couldn't wait to get rid of him because they were afraid he would never leave, to William not seeing him nor speaking to him, to William then saying emphatically, and Charles's office briefing emphatically, there is no way back for these two. And when you couple that with Meghan's rare quietude this week, she was seen but not heard from on GMA in America. She was barely mentioned in the Times of London, and when she was, it was at the bottom of the piece. I actually think there's quite a lot of intrigue happening right now, and it will continue to unfold in the coming weeks and days.
Yeah, and I'm afraid the cynic in me says that this is all because their life in America is not going as well as they hoped. The millions have been stemmed by them being turfed off platforms like Spotify because they were effing grifters, according to one of the executives there, and produced terrible content. And that in their desperation to try and maintain their very high standard of living and their celebrity status, which is all they have now out there, they've now flipped art. And since then, they've kept an incredibly low profile, as they vowed to. If you excuse the massive book deals, the Silicon Valley startups, the preaching videos about well-being, the podcasts, the speeches, and the major network interviews with everyone from Oprah Winfrey to James Corden. But they've barely been seen or heard at all, have they? Well, on Thursday, they'll quietly and apologetically release their $100 million documentary series on Netflix. I mean, nothing says protecting your family like doing a reality TV, fly-on-the-wall documentary about every aspect of your family life for the delectation of the entire planet, does it, Harry? Well, a braying pack of paparazzi photographers jostling for space to hound the happy couple. That's what we just saw, right? Childhood photographs clearly intended to evoke the tragic death of his mother, Diana. Those photographers we just saw weren't actually interested in Prince Harry at all. They were at the premiere of a Harry Potter movie 5 years before Harry even met Meghan. There weren't any royals there at all.
Are you serious?
This apparently sneaky paparazzo lurking above the Sussexes was actually invited there to cover their meeting with Archbishop Tutu in Cape Town. Another photo used in the promotions shows Harry's outstretched hand, apparently shielding the couple from photographers. Only it's actually a cropped photo of Harry with ex-girlfriend Chelsea Davy, taken in 2007. And a press scrum shown dashing after the unhappy couple was actually chasing after reality TV star, one of their compatriots. now, Katie Price, at Crawley Magistrates Court. Ironically, for a couple who've repeatedly sued newspapers for intrusion and inaccuracy, they've just put a load of whoppers into their trailers. That's before we even get to the main event.
When the stakes are this high, doesn't it make more sense to hear our story from us?
Oh, shut up. What do you mean the stakes are this high? Who do you think you are? Other than a latte-munching imbecile living in luxury in California while the rest of the world's a cost of living crisis, moaning and whining about an institution which gave you the titles on which you now trade millions of dollars. What are you talking about? What stakes are there other than the massive, gigantic stake you're currently plunging into our monarchy over here? And as for telling their story, sorry, have I missed something? I thought you've been telling your truth, which is often a pack of lies, from the moment you abandoned this country. Well, today's new trailer doubles down on the last trailer, and there's more tears. Remember that clip of Meghan once showing us how she could cry like that at the drop of a little tarnished tiara? Remember that? She could do it like that. Just bear that in mind when you watch it. Did you get that one? And as for the shameful comparisons of Princess Diana, I remember Prince Harry being very, very angry about the media exploiting his mother for commercial gain. Yeah, what has he done with this Netflix series? He's used his mother to sell it. Could there be a more grotesque exploitation or a more hypocritical one than him using his dead mother's imagery to engender sympathy for himself again as the great victim in this world? I find it all puke-making. And I speak as someone who's actually in one of these things. I pop up. Yeah, me.
What?
And to my astonishment, I was being very nice about Meghan Markle. Let's have a listen. Oh, God, you wouldn't know the truth if it hit you around the back of your head. This gruesome twosome only survived by cashing in on what's left of their royal status now. I've said it before, I'll say it again tonight. King Charles should strip them of all their remaining titles and cast them out from any connection to the royal family. How could any of them trust them, as far as I could throw them? Because without it, they're just whining millennial windbags with a permanent victim complex, knowing that victimhood is what makes them all the money. The irony is earth-shattering, isn't it? Harry and Meghan and the Duke and Duchess of gaslighting themselves. The entire show is a cynical attempt to manipulate viewers into questioning their own recollections of reality. And if we learned anything at all from the first 3 hours of this $100 million wine-a-thon, it's surely that this dismal duo wouldn't know the truth if it smacked them around their smug chops. Let's look at their truth versus the actual truth. Meghan moans that royal advisors forced her to uninvite her dear niece, Ashley, from the wedding, the only member of her family that she seemed to be still talking to.
How do we explain that this half-sister isn't invited to the wedding, but that the half-sister's daughter is? And so,
Wait for it.
with Ashley, the guidance at the time was to not have her come to our wedding.
Yeah, that was a lie. Impeccably placed royal sources told the Sunday Times no such guidance was ever given. And that was supposed to be the show's big example of how Meghan really cares very deeply about her family. So deeply that only one member of that family was at the wedding, her mother. Not even her favourite little niece, Ashley. Meghan also sees she got no advice on royal protocol, forcing her to learn how to be a princess all on her own.
Joining this family, I knew that there was a protocol for how things were done. There's no class in some person who goes sit like this, cross your legs like this, use this fork, don't do this, curtsy then, wear this kind of hat. Doesn't happen.
Another lie. And by the way, Meghan, if you don't like me calling you a liar, just sue me and we'll go through all this in court. The Sunday Times discovered she was actually handed a 30-point dossier, studiously researched, brimming with information and contacts. Meghan later simpers that she never wore bright colours to show respect, because she's all about respect.
So I was like, well, what's a color that they'll probably never wear? Camel, beige, white. So I wore a lot of muted tones, but it also was so I could just blend in. Like, I'm not trying to stand out here.
No, the last thing Meghan Markle would ever want to do is stand out. But it's all another lie. Photos taken by the evil, bigoted British press show her wearing pretty much every colour in the rainbow. The show opens with the claim that the royal family declined to comment on the series. That's another lie. The palace says it received one email from an unknown company, an attempt